Morning everyone. So I'm not entirely sure how well you'll be able to see me here. It's 6:15 in the morning. My alarm went off at 4 o'clock this morning. Managed to drag myself out of bed at, what time was it? About 4:30, which is later than I wanted to be up, which is why I'm rushing now a little bit, which isn't helpful because the path that I'm on is rather slippery. So I actually had an hour and 15-minute drive this morning to come down to a location I've wanted to come down to for a while. It's been on my radar, but see, very slippy path, not helpful when you're rushing. But it's so far away from me, this location, so it's one of those that I've always had in the back of my mind, or had in the back of my mind for a long while anyway. Church Dawes Cove on the Pembrokeshire coastline. Now, one thing I love about the Pembrokeshire coastline, from what I've seen of it, I've never actually been here, but I've done a lot of research, is it's very rocky, very craggy. So, yeah, there's a lovely rock formation here that I thought would be lovely at sunset, which is why I'm at sunrise, sorry, which is why I'm rushing a bit. Good here. Now I have another problem. I only noticed this last night. It's high tide in just over an hour. The tide is right in. This could have been a completely wasted journey, but I'm going to walk down these steps now. I'm going to stop filming because my shoes are muddy, so I need to take every precaution possible. And yeah, I'll let you know when we get to the bottom. So, day 2 of Mike's Misadventures in Wales has not exactly got off to the greatest of starts. The sky for sunrise was, the problem is there's a lot of low horizon cloud, which means it's kind of blocked the sun coming through. There was no reflections off it because it was all just covering the sun. The tide is currently right in and continuing to come in. So I positioned myself on the steps on the way down. But to be honest with you, I'm just absolutely struggling, I think is the polite way to put it, to get anything like a decent image off of this. I planned and planned and planned. I checked which way the sun would be coming up at sunrise. I checked the sunrise times. And it wasn't until last night that I went, I don't know if the tide's going to be in or not. Checked it and I knew it was going to be high tide. Well, it's about high tide in an hour before it starts to rescind. So, well, the rush this morning wasn't necessary. Being woken up by my alarms abruptly at 4 in the morning, dragging myself out of bed at 4:30 in the morning, all completely unnecessary. So I think what I'm going to do is, because I knew this was going to be quite a drive over here, I did look at a couple of other spots along the coast that I actually want to visit, some other rock formations and stuff. So I might head over to those bits, try and hunt down a cafe to get a breakfast in. I'm quite peckish, to be honest with you. That wave was so strong it actually shook the steps I'm on. And then I might actually come back down here, because you know what, it is a gorgeous spot, and the church doors, which you can see, that's what this formation here is called. It's called the Church Doors, and ironically, Church Doors Cove is named after that. So yeah, I might go check out these other locations, hunt down a brekkie, and then I might head back once the tide's actually gone out a little bit. See if I can actually get any pictures of this, because it is so spectacular. I'm in no rush today. I'm out for sunrise. That hasn't happened. But it does mean that, you know, I can take my time, I can go to these other places. So yeah, stick with us. We'll head over to these other spots and let's see what we can make of the day. So not a totally wasted journey. Getting the sun just breaking through the cloud just here. Now it's not the perfect sunrise in the world, but you know, what I've done is I'm just going to take another picture now, because that's actually getting better. So what I've done is, oh yeah, I'm liking that. So we've got the sun rising just above this island, and what you'll see here as well now, this wasn't happening before, which is why I just had to grab that shot, is you've obviously got the sun's reflection across the sea. Now I've got the 50mm mounted to the front of the camera, but I've also applied the 1.6 crop to, as I said previously, from a woodland photography one, to convert it more into a sort of an 80mm lens, just to zoom in a little bit more. Now I've also got this craggy bit of headland that's just coming out here in the frame, and there's a lot of void space here. Just going to grab another shot. Now that sun's just literally broken above the clouds. Oh, I'm quite excited by this now. Yeah, I'm going to stop gabbing to you. Basically, I've got 3 bracketed shots going through at the moment. I've put the cable release on as well to take those, to prevent any camera shake. I've got that craggy headland jutting out, and I've got that sun now just pulling that through with this island in the back. I can't remember the name of the island. I have seen the name of it when I've been researching this area. But yeah, I'm going to take a few more shots, because this is just getting better and better. That's the stuff. Hey guys, so I went to another location, but the road down to the car park crosses a military base, and you can't go to it if it's a firing range. If the red flags are up. However, there's no prior notification that the flags are up. So I literally drove there, couldn't get through. So I moved down to another area, which I also didn't know crosses the military base, but this one was actually open. And this is St Govan's Chapel. Now, for some reason, when this was built, they decided to put it in this lovely little coastal alcove. Now, tide's obviously still quite high, as you can see. Just having a quick read of the sign up there about St Govan's. Apparently, there was a bell in the church and it was stolen by pirates, and legend has it that when the pirate ship was sunk, angels returned the bell to the chapel. So, a little bit of history there and a bit of folklore. Now, I'll probably take a picture of the chapel because it is a really interesting place. But what I'm more interested in, I was a little bit gutted earlier when the tide was in. Not anymore. This sea is so rough with the waves, I'm actually going to try and get a picture of maybe this side or the other side, as some of these big waves are coming in and breaking right against it. So, watch. Look at that. Ha! No long exposure to smooth that sea out today, I can tell you. So, I'm going to go and try and find a spot where I can actually get this framed up. The sky's looking quite nice. You can't really see it at the moment, but there's a lot of dark cloud up here with a thin veil of light just through here. So I should be able to get a really interesting composition going with maybe some of this sky in, but my main focus will be the waves as they're crashing against this. So I'll make sure I get the cable release out, set it to a fast shutter speed, and yeah. See if this one's going to roll in against it. Not as dramatic as the last one, but yeah. Let's see what we can get. So this is good fun, not gonna lie, it's been great. But the only thing I would say is, frustratingly, I was taking pictures of this archway with the waves and stuff, and they were coming out all right as far as I'm aware. Obviously, on the back of the camera is different to what you see on the computer, but I then decided to swing round to the other side of the cove, here, because this was getting some awesome splashes up this bit, and also there's a little alcove inlet area. Now I'm reckoning that's where the water's just worn through, but you can see just as that came through just there, the water was coming through there, so you were getting a splash up this side and a splash up that side. Turn around, get it framed up, get it exposed, because obviously bright sun's coming in from over here. And I think as the tide's going out, I think more rocks have been revealed over at the past that point, and it's actually breaking the waves before they're now hitting that side. So I've kind of missed out on that. And while I've been sat here doing that, this one has been getting some awesome splashes in. The problem is it's not. Yeah, that looked like that was going to be a big one then, and it was actually really quite small. But if you watch behind me, is it going to hit that one? Yeah, you see a bit of a splash up there. And the problem is you've got this huge giant boulder in the way, which is making compositions difficult. Oh, some of these waves are getting big now, I tell you. And yet what I thought would have been a big splash on that one didn't turn out to be, but behind me, actually still didn't turn out to be a big splash. I think it's because the tide's going out. When I first came down here, this rock was getting absolutely hammered by the waves. I'm talking big splashes over the top of it and stuff. Hasn't been affected by it since I've been taking these pictures. One difficulty with getting compositions here is not only that sunlight as well, it's the fact that I'm on all these big boulders and stuff, so trying to find a flat or stable surface for the camera. They're damp from where it has been high tide. So yeah, it's been good fun though. It's been really good fun. You might also see as well St Govan's Head. Can't see it now. I'll leave that just here for the moment. That is getting absolutely battered by giant waves, but it's because they're sweeping this way in from the sea, and they're obviously breaking and splashing right up the side. It looks really immense. I'll capture a video in a minute and pop it up for you in a second before I pop some pictures up that I've been doing of this splash photography, wave photography, whatever you want to call it. I'm hoping they turned out all right. Yeah, now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it quits on this bit because the tide is going out. As I say, I think the waves are becoming smaller, more of the area is becoming exposed, smaller rocks underneath are becoming exposed, so the waves are breaking on them instead. I'm going to get some pictures of St Govan's Chapel, and then I think what I might do is I might head back to Church Doors Cove, see what the tide's doing out there. Yeah, look at these splashes on St Govan's Head. And yeah, actually see if I can get some pictures of the church doors now. So let's have a look and see how these wave pictures came out. Alright guys, so a couple of things. Firstly, I've still not found anywhere that's going to serve me brekkie. Do people in Wales not eat breakfast? I'm starving. All I wanted was a cooked breakfast. Never mind. I'll find something around lunchtime anyway, I reckon. Second of all, I'm back at Church Doors Cove. There's the church doors behind me. As you can tell, there's those steps that we were stood on. There they are. That I couldn't pretty much get off. Well, I couldn't. So, tide is out, which is always good. Now, I've already set up and taken a couple of shots already. Because obviously the tide is on the way out, as soon as I got down here, I'd scramble across some rocks quickly to try and get a picture, and I don't think it's come out very well. But I am currently set up taking other pictures of, again, waves crashing. So, first of all, one thing I want to point out, how pristine is this? Not a single soul other than me has walked on this on this sand. Now, because of taking pictures, I've tried to kind of sweep round the back onto the rocks and stuff where I can, rather than running right across the middle of it and ruining all the ground. Because I haven't taken any pictures of the church doors yet, which is obviously going to encompass a larger area. So the more silky sand I can get, the better. The shot I've actually got just at this moment in time, as we saw earlier, okay, that was a pathetic wave, but there have been some decent sized waves coming in. So, there we go. There's the camera. Now I've got this rammed right up against this rock as foreground interest, giving this as the midground with, yeah, you can't really see it, there's reflections in the wet sand there. And I'm trying to time it with the waves crashing, so I'm literally having to be patient and waiting for some of the bigger ones to come in. A bit like that. And I'm trying to get it as that crest breaks. Now, I don't know if I'm going to manage it. It really is a timing thing, to be honest with you. I've got the remote shutter release set up on there. Don't know what that noise was. I've got the remote shutter set up so that I don't have to have the 2-second timer on, so that I can just literally press it, shutter goes off. So I'm going to get back to sitting around. I'm waiting for the perfect waves. I'll pop any pictures up. If there are any decent, I'll pop them up in a moment, and then we'll try and find a decent composition for the church doors themselves. Now, considering I was shooting waterfalls and stuff yesterday, because it was so dingy and miserable, and because the falls were so full, I never actually got a chance to break out the format high-tech filters. So I thought, you know what? Choppy sea, little rivery stream, runoff water thing running past this rock. Let's give it a whirl. So I've just popped the 10-stop filter on. So far so good. So I thought I'd add the 3-stopper as well, which has given me an exposure time of 1 minute 21 seconds. So I'm really hoping this actually comes out alright. I mean, it's going to be glass-like, not going to lie, but that's the intention. I just wanted to play about and actually get to use my filters that I bought back in January, and as I said before, fittingly using them in Wales, the home of format high tech. Let's see if this picture turns out alright. And there we go. Church doors cove and the church door's done. Oh, I'm glad I came back. I think it would have been a real shame to have made it all this way. and not actually get some pictures of it. Now, I tell you what, the steps down there are quite grueling. My knees are burning, and as you can hear from my chest, I'm a little bit out of breath. So, but yeah, I think now I'm going to go find some lunch, because I missed brekkie. Did have those breakfast biscuits, but they're not substantial enough to keep you going for ages. Just the kind of thing to tide you over a bit. So I'm going to go find some lunch, and I'll be honest with you, probably going to head back to my hotel room, have a shower and a nap. Now, this is the end of Mike's Misadventures in Wales, day 2, part 1. Now, the plan is to get back out for a sunset. I've got a location and stuff in mind, but I'm shattered after walking God knows how many miles yesterday. The rush this morning, about 3.5 hours sleep last night. Genuinely, I'm shattered. Obviously the long drive quite late on Wednesday night. I got a long drive back tomorrow, got an early start tomorrow morning, so this could be the end of my Misadventures in Wales day 2. I guess you'll just have to give us a subscribe and see what comes up on the next one. So drop us some likes, peeps. Let's get this channel moving, get those subscribes in, because there is more to come from this trip. Just don't know whether it's tonight or tomorrow morning. And everyone else, be safe. Peace.